This is the MLW Radio Network.
Welcome, everybody, to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, The Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I am your tour guide, Josh Chernoff, and he is The Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind?
Happy Memorial Day.
Yay!
I remembered
you remembered.
something. We remembered something on the day it happened. Yay.
Yes. Well, we hope everybody's having a safe and healthy Memorial Day, and a shout out to, the reason behind Memorial Day, all the people who gave their lives for us to be able to sit here and do stupid shit like what we do on this show. So, man, I hope this is just a good, healthy Memorial Day weekend for everybody. Safe and healthy and happy, and God, I hope it's better than last year's Memorial Day, because I know that wasn't great for anybody. But yeah, Meanie, you're on time.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have said it. It's a good job,
man. Dude. I mean, we can end the show right now.
That's it, man.
Yeah,
I guess we're. No, I'm just kidding. So what's good, man? What's happening with you?
Until Labor Day, when we celebrate women giving birth, and Anyway,
where's my? There it is.
I gave myself the horn.
I gave you the crickets.
Please, because that's the kind of
This episode's brought to you by the Rodecaster Pro.
Yeah, man. Whatchamacallit? No, doing pretty good. All things considered.
Good, man. Good.
Still dealing with the loss of Jack and stuff like that, and trying to help his family. Like right off the bat, I'm trying to still help his family raise some money. So right off the bat, there's a GoFundMe. There's only one, which I've been sharing on all my social media. If you want, also go to my social media. I've been sharing the link to buy the New Jack shirt from Collar and Elbow that I'm currently wearing.
Awesome shirt.
And
great,
then
what is 100%? Right, goes to the family.
Yep. And because
excellent.
Collar and Elbow, they do great work. They're all about the boys too, and Pro Wrestling Tees finally opened up a official New Jack Pro Wrestling Tees page, which all money will be going to his family. And they've done some great things. They did a limited edition micro brawler as well. And I'm going to go on there since we have the, they got the store now. I'm going to go up there and get one of the Pro Wrestling Tees versions of the T-shirts as well.
Awesome.
So, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Not that it's in the way, but
but I understand.
I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget.
Yep.
I don't want to forget.
Yeah.
Because, it's one thing to remember Memorial Day. I'm like Kelly Bundy. You put more information in my head and I lose another piece of information that's vital.
Your hard drive can only be filled up so much before you got to empty it.
Holy shit, man. But
Travis says to you, Travis on Patreon here, looked like Mrs. Meanie grilled up a fantastic meal yesterday. Made me hungry.
Yeah, man.
You shared quite the meal on, and by shared, I mean ate it all yourself, but sent a picture to everybody on social media.
Hey, guys, look what I'm doing. In my worst Ron Burgundy voice.
Dude, I don't even eat meat anymore, and I was hungry for it.
Dude, it's that time of the year. Last year we had one of those terracotta pigs, which was like a mini pig. But we used it so much, we were like, you know what? Let's just get a real grill. So we drove to Delaware because we're cheap and there's no sales tax, and got a professional grill and just cooked it up. Can
I ask you a question about that? You're saying cheap, and I don't mean this to be funny or anything.
No,
Did you calculate the gas versus tax?
Well, dude, I fill up my car maybe twice a month.
Oh, okay.
My car's that good on gas.
So you're pretty, yeah.
And it's a 20-minute drive from my house.
Oh, geez. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about where it is from my house. Yeah, it's not, no, you're good. Yeah, never mind. It's 20 minutes. You're fine.
Go down 95. Take.
Well, here, let me put this in my phone. What's your address?
So I take some sip of my iced coffee.
I'm gonna crack my thing open. Grab this
please
quickly and noticed. I don't know if you can tell. It is busted up here.
What?
The top is. I don't know if you can tell. It's like.
Oh, I've had a few of those in my.
So I don't know how this is gonna open.
It should be all right.
It's gonna spray everywhere, all over my equipment.
Just be happy it's the top and not the bottom, because then the can, you can't sit the can down.
What do you have first? You got an ugly?
I'm still rocking the ugly because it's that damn good. Lemon lime.
Nice. I got a mandarin orange Wegmans brand. Let's do it. 3,
We're
2,
gonna Sandman it.
1. Yep. Oh.
Go Birds.
Well, that's upsetting.
What?
I can't. Oh no. I can't open it. I cracked it, but it's still. It was bent in such a way.
Might have a.
I know.
Sure enough.
Vanessa's asking if it's another flat can. Yeah, I think we got another one to sign here. Let me use.
All
right, hold on. I got a screwdriver here.
Look at you, MacGyver.
Oh, there we go. That'll do it.
Oh, he got it all over my face.
Oh man, that is gonna slice the. That's not good. Okay, all right.
Was there a shard that you're going to swallow?
Probably.
Slice your poopies. I was trying to make a spit take on that one.
Yeah, no, I've sliced enough poopies in my day, meanie.
I got never mind. I ain't even going to have a fucking.
No, this isn't flat though, but it doesn't like. That's fine. It's all right. I'm like there. I don't know if you can tell. It's like cut in half, so it's just a sliced like that will. Yeah. That will hair lip the shit out of you. Hey, I want to horrible transition, but I wanted to talk to you about. Well, first I want to give a shout out to. I'm not gonna say their name because we have private conversations on Patreon. But one of our Patreon members is currently. Man, you got to win something if you're watching this from the hospital. So live right now as we record this on a Friday night, he is in the hospital. And just wanted to give a more formal shout out so that well wishes can be sent from everyone outside of Patreon as well. So we're not going to say your name unless you send me a message now that says, please say my name because I want my name said on the air. But
don't want to break HIPAA laws.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if HIPAA law applies to podcasting, but yeah, no, just wanted to. We hope you feel better real soon, and you should know that Meanies had a very similar thing, but it was right that spot right between your asshole and
right on the bad weld.
Yep, the old grundle.
Yeah,
but no,
the peach pit.
Steve Goff is telling me that I should bite into the can. Yeah, no, that's not that's not gonna work.
Oh, Steve, you ribber.
The peach pit. What are we talking about? 90210? What season?
No,
what do you want to go into? Were we talking Dylan Kelly? We talking Dylan Brenda?
I'm talking about the back of my nuts.
Oh.
Looks like a peach.
Oh man, the old Joe Itata, if you will.
Yeah,
that's a deep cut for 90210 fans. But Meanies has no idea what I'm talking about. Joe Itata was the name. I'll never forget that. Was the name of the. Here's the best part. I can't remember what his name was on the show. I just remember from the opening credits, his name was Joe Itata, and he played the dude at the Peach Pit, like the owner of the Peach Pit. But
gotcha.
But yeah, but I think that area, the Grundle-like area, the back of the balls should from now on be referred to as the Joey Tata. All right, I quit.
There's so many fucking side roads I could take on that, but I won't. Yeah. Yes.
Another shout out I wanted to give to a guy that I actually don't know and really would like to at some point, but a longtime friend of yours and friend of the show for sure, Mikey Whipwreck.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to give a shout out and best wishes to him and his health. Mikey made an announcement on social media that he would be stopping all public appearances. And then gave a very personal
Heartfelt
look into what he's been going through. I had no idea that, like, look, you expect, oh, he's pretty banged up. Maybe it's kind of tough for him to get around. The knees are bad. The back is bad. But he's going through some real stuff. And so while we're at it, sending out good thoughts to people, let's send good thoughts and well wishes and shoot a tweet over his way and just, wish him the best, because he's definitely feeling the effects of everything that he gave to the business. There's no way around it.
Yeah, that's the scary thing about, head trauma and concussions, but more importantly, the undiagnosed, concussions that he suffered that, when you lose count, it's insane. And you know what? It's like much like when we found out New Jack passed while we were recording. Mikey was doing a virtual signing, and there's video of him finding out, when New Jack passed away, and he said something that happened to me. It's kind of scary that we both had the same thing that happened, where he said he was wrestling New Jack once and he bumped his head so hard that everything went black and white. And that took me to a point where I was wrestling Christian Cage in Boston. And we were doing this spot where I put him up on the top rope. I go up, like I'm going to suplex him. We punch back and forth. He gets the upper hand. I take the nasty plunge back bump off the second rope. And I don't know why I do this, because I never ends well. I did it against Kurt Angle, and it didn't end well. And I did it here with Christian, and just whacked the back of my head. And I'm looking up at Christian, and everything's black and white, like I'm looking at a negative of a photo, So he said that, and that gave me a moment of pause, just to go, shit, that happened to me too. And then, I'm now just turned 48, and you start wondering, hey man, am I just naturally forgetting things because I'm 48 or from stuff I've done in wrestling? So,
right.
My heart goes out to Mikey. A lot of things he listed, were really touching, and family's important, and he wants to be with his family too. And I can't imagine, you're going to pack your bag and it affects your kids seeing you leaving the house and stuff like that. So, look, I don't even want to leave my house. Now that I got this sweet setup and we're doing broadcasting from home and doing stuff like that, like I said, they don't pay us to wrestle; they pay us to leave our homes. And he's a very good family man, a dedicated father, a loving husband. And he's going to spend some time to be a family man.
Yeah.
But,
look, his legacy's there in wrestling. And it's just, it's a shit. Like, you look at it sometimes, and for professional wrestlers, and I'm more speaking to the people listening, I obviously don't need to tell you, Meanie, but wrestling is your life. Like any sports, any athlete, when they're a professional athlete, that's their life. That is it. That is what their focus is. That's their obsession. But as an athlete, you have a shelf life. And you reach a certain point where, okay, if you're, lucky, what about the next half of your life? What about the next 50 years that you've got,
Yeah.
And unfortunately, so many times that's not the case for people, but you've got that other time. And, Meanie, you've been criticized before from people saying you're hypocritical when you're like, I don't really like the chair shots to the head. I don't think that
Oh, yeah.
and you always explain you're not hypocritical. You're like, hey man, where do you think I this is an educated opinion,
Yeah. It's like, I say I don't like the deathmatch stuff. Oh, look at the guy from ECW saying, yeah, that's how I got my opinion. So you get your opinions through life experience.
Mm.
I saw what the stuff did to Axl Rotten. I saw what it did with Balls Mahoney. And, stuff it did to New Jack, he suffered a lot of pain, from years of dives and stuff like that. So
what do you think, though, about, you look at somebody like all the people you just mentioned, and, of course, what Mikey's going through now.
Mm-hmm.
These things happen, these concussions, these things, the physical injuries that they sustain happen in a time when we didn't really get it. Like, you knew you got hit in the head with a chair. You knew it was going to knock you a little loopy. Damn, that's going to hurt. Oh, man, I might be out of it for the next couple of days.
Yeah.
And then you move on. And that's it. You think, I moved on. You go, oh, I didn't end up in the hospital in a coma. Okay, I guess it wasn't that bad. Let's keep going. And now, 20 years later, we know how freaking serious that is.
Well, dude,
one chair shot. Could be one chair shot. How serious that could be. What do you think? You talk about the deathmatch stuff going on today and stuff. Yeah, you can excuse. It's like, to me, and I'm not trying to offend anybody at all, and but I'm giving an example. You look at the guy who's 80 years old and has been smoking for 65, 70 years, and then you look at or you even go back and you look at the guy who's 30 or 40 who's started smoking when whatever, but then you look at the 14-year-old and you go, dude, we have known everything in your lifetime. We have known how bad this is for you.
Yeah.
There was a time where it was like, if you wanted to be seen on a higher level of class, you made sure you had the classiest of cigarettes and you had your, and like that legitimately. You look at I've got my old photographs from when my dad was a kid and his family photo. Everyone's all together, like extended family. All the men have a cigarette in their hand in the photo. Like that was just how it was. But now, like I look at it, go like this isn't good for you. And again, I'm not trying to be preachy, and there's a million reasons why people start smoking and why they can't quit and whatnot, and I'm not judging anybody. But what I'm saying is you have to look at it for wrestling in that same way, meaning like they should know better now.
I mean, the people take for granted, people are like, oh, well, your skull is made of bone, and it's protecting your brain, but it really isn't. It's just your brain. Now that we know, years have gone by, and you realize that your brain bounces around in your shell casing, your skull, like a pinball, and it just it forms a bruise, it forms a callus, and that's where the calcification comes in, and the CTE comes in. And I know I've made jokes about CTE in the past, but that's just out of just trying to brace myself for like, hey, shit, maybe one day, who knows? I always try to
Sure.
the serious stuff with like light, somewhat humorous, but
Sure.
my sense of humor has always been dark and morbid, but yeah, dude, like there was a time, like my first year in the business, we were doing a show in Dayton, Ohio, and it was me and my partner Rick Matrix against Rick and Robbie Austin. They were two guys. They weren't really brothers, but they looked like brothers, so they gave them a brother gimmick. And they did like
Has that ever happened in wrestling before?
They did like a Sabu type spot where Rick got down on all fours. Robbie dove off of him over the top rope. And we've done this spot plenty of times and catch him and go down. But Robbie's ass just hit my head and drove it right into the basketball court where we were wrestling. And before you know it, I was back in the locker room. I was like, all right, so when's our match?
Jeez.
And they're like, dude, we just had the match. So you think back to times like that.
Yeah.
It's scary. And it keeps receipts. It accumulates. Yeah.
I remember a match. I took a power bomb and head just went back. I hit the back of my head so hard, the front of my head hurt. Like that was, and the next thing I've got like power bomb on the floor outside the ring, laying down with another wrestler telling me to put my feet up in the locker room. But it felt like literally they felt like that's like taking a step. Like one step was I'm standing, taking the power bomb. I take a step and I'm outside the ring. I take my next step and I'm in the locker room lying down. Like it was, I don't remember any of the other stuff in there. And, I do remember the doctor going like, well, if you think you might have a concussion, you should go to the hospital. I'm like, well, you're earning your money. But no, it's a scary thing. And I look at that and I think, I mean, there's so many guys, especially the ECW guys, how hard you guys were going in the ring. Yeah. How many times a freaking week were anyone on that roster getting their bell rung the way that I did that one time. And I think about it, I go, my God, like, it's dude, just a bump in general is enough.
A bump is, the equivalent of a minor fender bender.
Yeah.
Like just two bumpers, slightly touching where you jolt forward.
Imagine us as like a normal, like a person outside of wrestling, right? Like you look at that as just from a fan's standpoint, and you should be looking at it going, if you had once upon a time, one day where you just got fender bender, somebody bumped you, 40 times that one day. Yeah. And it never happens again for the rest of your life. When you're 80 years old, you're going to be talking about that time in your 20s, that one day when someone kept hitting you, because it would be such a memorable moment in your life from the physical trauma that you experienced.
Yeah.
That's a match. That's just hey, let's work a nice, easy match, like.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, there's, the stuff we did in ECW, there were some chair shots, and then there was some stuff we called boingy metal, anything from like cookie sheets to stuff like that, which might not have been as bad as a chair shot, but was still pretty freaking bad. So, and don't forget the cane shots as well, I took my good share of those my first year. It all adds up. And again, when I not criticize, but say I'm uncomfortable watching certain things, it's from that perspective. So, my heart goes out to Mikey because he's a great guy, and he came. I mean, he laid back for a little while, laid a little low, and then he started coming back and doing the convention circuit and stuff like that, and it was always great to see him. And, reminisce and stuff like that. So hopefully, he takes a little time off. Hopefully, down the line, maybe he can still do stuff here and there. Because that's where I see most of my friends is at these conventions, It's they're like family reunions,
Yeah, I mean, there's also, when he went through the list of all of the things, there were not little things. Can't drive at night anymore was one of them. Has a hard time hearing, and he says it's embarrassing even if it shouldn't be. But you can understand it's embarrassing. You talk about those conventions. Let me tell you something. I can't hear shit at those conventions.
Yeah.
Now imagine you have trouble hearing, and like you said, that's where you get to see your friends. Well, my heart goes out to them. You're there. You want to see your friends. You want to have a conversation and catch up, and you can't hear. It's embarrassing, and and as he said, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be embarrassing, and not a single one of his friends would feel like he should be embarrassed if he were to say to them, hey, man, I just can't hear. But I can understand for him that being embarrassing. I can understand a fan coming up and talking to him one after another at the signing, and every one of them, he can't hear what they're saying or can't understand what they're saying. Like,
yeah,
it's a tough thing. And then I saw the thing where he said he hears the Butterbean comments at conventions. And he put LOL, he's laughing because, you can see humor in the sense that he's a lot heavier. He's bald now, which he wasn't, back in the day. But at the same time, you go to these things and people are dicks, They're
it's just like being in grade school all over again, where people have no filters.
And you think that just because they're a public person, you can make these comments and it's not going to hurt their feeling. Like,
yeah, you have a license to just say whatever you want with no repercussions. Oh, what's he going to do? Hit me, and then I'll just sue him. Or shit like that. Just fortunately, I haven't had to deal with that much. I've had a couple of people try to test me over stupid shit, but nothing to that extent. And I was reading
we have
his
private Facebook page where we just kind of all get together to talk about that stuff. We don't want you to hear it.
Yeah, but I was reading his post, and it really, all I could just do is just tell him I loved him, and hopefully he saw it, because a lot of people, gave their outpouring of love to Mikey, so I'm sure he knows, his ECW family loves him, and the fans love him, and he's given back to the business more than he's asked for in return. So,
man, without question. So yeah, I just wanted to, to make sure to bring that up and send best wishes to him. And, if you're, maybe think twice the next time, as conventions start up again. If you're a fan listening to this, I think we could all be a little more cognizant of, of what it takes sometimes for these people to get to those conventions and the physical pain that they're in. And, you poke fun at a guy because he's gained some weight. Not all of us can have our six packs like all these people, I'm sure, making the comments. Like, it's.
I'll say this to these motherfuckers, especially the motherfuckers who go, oh, look, the gray meanie. Motherfucker, your hair's going to turn gray too. So, and then somebody will say it back to you. It all comes back around. Whatever you fucking put out in the universe towards somebody else, whether it's a fat joke, whether it's, oh, your hair's gray, oh, you got varicose veins in your legs, it's all going to come back. People say that to you? I do have like one in the back of my leg. Okay.
And I would say to them, the fuck are you? Get away from the back of my leg. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Who is this fan just crawling around on their hands and knees?
Oh, it wasn't a fan. Oh, that wasn't even a fan.
Okay, I was going to say, that's a dangerous place to be anyway.
Yeah. Like I said, I won't get sued. So I got that charcoal underwear, so I don't want to give somebody a black lung. But, seriously, like everything you say to people, it'll come back to you. There's stuff I've said, I remember saying as a kid, just being a smart ass. And then, like, I get a little bit older, and then it happens to me, but I don't realize it at the moment. But then, like, I have, like, a light bulb moment where I go, oh, shit, that thing I did as a kid, somebody did it to me. Yeah. It's just karma coming back around, nature.
It's something that, like, I've learned, too, is I've always considered myself to be a decent guy, and I try to treat people with respect. But dude, we've all said an inappropriate thing that, we've made a crack about someone behind their back or done whatever it is, all thinking it's all in good fun and just, like obviously we've talked about, like, in school, I wasn't the one doing the bullying. I was the one being bullied, but even then it wasn't like, now having kids, my daughter going off to school, And man, I just look like when she runs over to the group of girls standing there, and I'm just watching that, being like, these girls better be nice to her. They bet, and they all have been incredibly nice to her, and she loves going to school. But now I look at it from like a parent standpoint too, where I'm just like, don't you dare frickin' like I mean, I know I'm not allowed to go beat up a bunch of kindergarten kids, but
they could beat the shit out of their parents.
Yeah. I'm not above hiring a first grader to beat up a kindergarten kid if need be.
Yeah. Just pull their parents out of their minivan and just say it again. Say it again.
Yep. No, it's just
tell the other parents what you saw. Yeah, man, just be cool.
Yeah.
You whatever you put out there in the universe, it comes back. Yep. Whether it's if you put shit out in the universe, shit's going to come back. If you put good out in the universe, the good will come back. But yeah.
So what else is going on, man? How's your day to day? How you feeling? How you doing?
I got somewhat good news. McCuskers, my favorite bar on the planet, is reopening June 11th.
Ooh, very nice.
June 11th, which we promptly told them, we'll see you one day during the midweek because we don't like going on the weekends.
Oh, I was going to say, we'll see you 12:01.
No, yeah, it's like, oh, dude.
No, you can't, dude. You can't be there the first. You can't.
Well, I think
the first night.
I think the 11th is a Friday. And
it is, yeah.
That's just murder because they're packed. But like I go on you go on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's just like mellow. Hey, Doug, you put on your Spotify. Let's listen to whatever.
Well, I've been a regular at places before, and there's nothing worse than being a regular and having other non-regulars come in.
Oh, we weed those folks out. Not that like we don't welcome non-regulars, but if you're a jerk off, you're not going to last long.
No.
I distinctly remember we were in McCuskers one night, and Ryan McCusker was bartending. Somebody was just being rude, and he took their money off the fucking bar, put it in their hands, like, "Have a good night, go back to Jersey," or something like that. Just the guy was saying something real fucked up. It's like we're there to have a good time, have good conversation, listen to good music, and just don't be a dick. So, and the other day I was just remembering, I posted a photo. Last time I was there was with Dominic and from WrestleZone and AJ Kirsch, and that was like the night before the last MLW show in Philly, and it was just like. And I was like, you could look at the details on the photos. I was like, man, that was January 31st.
That's crazy.
What the fuck?
I just worked with Dominic today
He's
for the
great.
first time. He's always been super cool with, promoting things that I'm doing on WrestleZone and all.
Yeah, it's good people.
Yeah, it's finally you'll be able to hear that Tuesday on Fight. We did a little Fight and Focus for the NWA pay-per-view coming up.
Awesome.
And he was great to have on. As were the other two who were on there as well. Yeah, it's it's nice when I really enjoy getting to know these people more. And with him, that was one I had reached out to you, as recommendations of and I mean I already knew he was a good dude, but it's always good to know that he's
As they say in the wrestling business, I would recommend him 7 days a week and twice on Sunday.
Nice.
Even though that makes no sense in the
you're
in
by
the
the second time on
thing.
Sunday, I'm like, Meanie, listen, it's been every day. I get it now. Yeah, but I just want to tell you one more time. No,
But I mean it.
Yeah.
I mean it, Josh. He's
Travis,
a good dude, man.
Travis says, Mind of the Meanie live from McCuskers.
Eventually
One day.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got our live show coming up in August 7th, Port Henry, New York, at the Gatter Brothers shop there that I still don't have an address for. but check our social media and order your pre-order right now, your buddies or your spot to go there live and have us sign it, or even your virtual
That's gonna be
opportunities.
great,
We're
man.
going to tweet some stuff out this week. But yeah, so that's when I think I'm really curious to see, what our drawing power is, to be honest with you.
It has a chance to be very Spinal Tap worthy. Hi, Artie Fufkin from Sussex Records, and they're there, and there's like no fans,
Yeah.
But that's the biggest fear, right? Then you could use every stereotypical excuse promoters use. Well, it's a nice day out, and McDonald's is open. Or as Tracy Smothers would say, hey man, McDonald's is open. Can't compete with that. Because every wrestler's heard every excuse.
It's a new gas station down the street.
Yeah, somebody pulled the fire alarm. Thousands of fans dressed like chairs. I'm looking forward to it.
That's gonna be a lot of fun. So
I can't wait to get one of those buddies because I've always wanted one, and it's just like it seems like all the stuff I've wanted my whole career is just coming out within the last 2 to 3 years. It's insane.
Okay, you gotta leave something for the bucket list,
Yeah, man. Well, Alaska's the bucket list.
There you go. All right.
But I'm looking forward to that as well.
That's gonna be so cool, man.
Finalizing all that stuff, but yeah.
Hey, by the way, I don't know if you know this or not, but we were talking about Mikey Whipwreck earlier. You'll be wrestling Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, both trained by Mikey Whipwreck.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a 6-man tag with Black Machismo.
Yeah.
So that's going to be pretty cool because, Randy Savage was in the NWO.
I was going to say, is he BWO Wolfpack or?
Yeah, I don't know. It'll probably have to be OG.
Sure.
OG BWO. So we'll figure it out.
Very cool, man. And I'm looking forward to watching it. I think that's going to be airing live on like their Facebook or something. Like they're going to.
I think they have the GoPro folks who help them out.
Do you know the GoPro guys?
I am very familiar with them. Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen them around.
They're great. They're all just super cool people. I had an opportunity to work with them doing commentary for their shows, and including their actual event they put on themselves, but shows that they were filming, I've done commentary for, and then getting to work with them at StarCast. They are just top to bottom, just a great group of people. So,
absolutely.
You'll have some fun as long as you're.
I've definitely. What's that?
As long as you're not sharing a hotel room with Frank, because I did before. Frank's one of the guys there, and that man snores like a son of a bitch.
Oh well.
And I told him.
I've been told I snore as well, so it'll be like dueling banjos.
Yeah, it was. I told him. I said, man, I was worried sick that you were. That you weren't gonna at some point, like he would like stop, and I was just like, I'm not hearing anything, and then it would happen again. Like, yeah. So all kidding aside, seriously though, Frank from GoPro, like, I hope you go see a doctor at some point because it's not good. But no, they're awesome people. So you'll have a lot of fun on that trip.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, and I think I'm going to spend the extra day there and actually get to see the sites.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, like, we're doing 2 towns, and they're like 40 minutes apart, which is nothing in wrestling. Well, of course, it takes like 11 hours to fly there, but once we get there, it's like 40 minutes apart, and I think we're basically staying at the same spot, both nights. So I'll just book an extra night and get go around and see the sites and all that good stuff. So man, yeah, Alaska, because I've done Hawaii. I was fortunate enough to wrestle in Hawaii, so to do Alaska, even though it's a state, it feels like you're going to another country. Pretty much.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never been, but I'm saying it's awesome in general. But I'm not booked, Terry. And, shout out to my buddy, Kevin Matthews. Just in case you were wondering, Kevin, that is something I'd like to do at some point. I'm not saying you owe me for, all the times I booked you on my shows back in 2002 and 2003. I'm not saying that I put you on the map. I'd never say that. I would never say that I plucked you out of obscurity and made you the star you are today. No, I did not do that. But book me. And his response would be, for what? And I'll go, great question. I guess I'll just see you sometime in New York. But yeah, man.
Kevin's a good dude, man. He's a hustler.
Kevin he's a hustler and he's a character. And the last time I saw him, he's like, it was 2 years ago or something. And he goes to me, he's like, dude, I don't understand. You look exactly the same, exactly like you did before. I was like, you are so full of shit because that's very kind to say. I don't look anything. Even if I'm in the best shape I could be in now at 37 years old, I do not look like I did when I was 19. To the point where I almost feel like my face looks like I had plastic surgery to make it bigger, to make it rounder. So it's like, what do you, I go in there so what are we're tucking some things? No, I want you to let it out.
Yeah.
But he was very
loosen
nice.
Up that hem,
Oh man.
How's the Pod Squad there doing?
Pod Squad's great. We got a huge turnout here. Sean Jones.
We've been doing pretty good on Friday nights.
Take a minute to see if you can see Russia from the venue. And a lot of talk about how great Dominic is. We've got Sean Jones quote, "Oh, you're fat." His wife responds, "Congrats, your eyes work." That's
oh no,
man. I wish I hadn't said that out loud. Yes, everybody's just Travis as star maker Josh Chernoff. Yeah, no, I definitely booked Kevin Matthews played no role in the success that he has had. I'm totally kidding. But no, he's a good dude. Good guy.
Good guy, big guy, tall guy.
Yeah.
Guy. Oh, the lumberjack would have just totally eyed him up.
Yeah. I'll tell you though, man, he's gotten in such good shape. I'm really happy for him and jealous.
He's been doing the DDP yoga. Yeah. I've been just doing the DDP yogurt. So it's just I've been doing a workout.
I started a workout I hadn't done in the last time I did it was back when we first did that interview together for a fight at the ECW arena. And you wouldn't
before the world shut down.
Yeah. You wouldn't know this, but I couldn't bend my arm when we did that interview. Both of my arms couldn't go past being bent because I had done this bicep workout that just freaking killed me. It was insane. So I did that workout again today, and I am so sore already, which is not a good sign. And so I just keep throughout the day, I just keep kind of going and stretching, doing one of these stretches for my biceps, just to kind of in hopes that when I wake up tomorrow, they're not locked up. But I almost went to the doctor. It lasted so long.
That's what then or today?
Then.
Oh, okay.
It was a good week before I was able to straighten my arm out again. It just got so tight. I just, they're like, "Oh, let's do the burnout." And I'm like, "All right, let's burn out." And it was not good. So, but I'm trying to get myself back in shape because I have to put real pants on and stuff. I
have a buddy who's going to a wedding tonight. He's like, "Dude, I had to go get new pants." Because in the apocalypse he ate pretty well. Yeah, the suit he wore before the apocalypse do not fit. So he had to do that, and I don't even want to think about trying to find a suit to put on if I would by chance have to find some kind of suit. But I have been fortunate enough though, in the apocalypse I quit drinking for a good bit.
Yeah.
I had a couple beers here and there, but compared to what I was doing, I seem to be down, a couple pounds. So hopefully I can, hopefully when everything, opens up, sort of, kind of, and maybe gyms open up and sort of, kind of, start doing that again. And I kind of want to get back over to the Monster Factory.
Yeah.
When things are normal, because they have a really good weight room there, and do some cardio and work out with the kids and stuff like that.
I wanted to get DDP Yoga to sponsor us so that I can, I know you don't want to do. Well, no,
That's
so
pressure.
I can stick with it. That's,
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
that's
it
the
worked
point.
DDP Yoga worked for 50% of mine at the meeting.
Anthony Camarada here says, I've been doing DDP Yoga. I'm down to 190 with 14% body fat. Love it. That all sounds great, but for all I know, you started at 191 and 14.2% body fat. So without telling us your starting point, Anthony, it's really tough to give you all the credit, but I'm assuming that you've done really well. I know our good friend Andy Slichter is like a DDP
He's
yoga
the guru. Yeah.
And when the world gets back, he's gonna, have to come on over and stretch me. What? But no, I remember. I love DDP yoga. I really do. But
I remember on the old Howard Stern show, they were having some kind of weight loss contest, and the one guy who won lost like this crazy amount of weight, but then they found out he cheated on the initial weigh-in day. He drank like a gallon of water, which it is like 8 pounds. It adds 8 pounds. So he drank a gallon of water and ate all his food when he got weighed in. So in the next weigh-in, he drank nothing. So they're like, "Oh, he's down 10 pounds." Or they're like, "How'd you lose it so quick?" And it's eventually somebody stooged him off. That's a great trick. Great rib.
Yeah,
it's a great. That's right up there where somebody's going to weigh themselves, and you just put your foot in the back of the scale to make them go, "Why the fuck am I so heavy?" And they'll realize that you're stepping on a scale with them.
Yeah.
Just little things.
Travis says, I got the DDPY DVDs. I just can't listen to DDP while I'm trying to work out. He weirds me out. My issue is with any of those DVDs is like, it's the same workout again and again. How many more times can you hear the same thing?
Yeah.
When he goes, breathe DAC. Breathe down into your back. It's like he accidentally says DAC and he just left it in.
Dude, I did some DDP yoga with Stevie, and it's amazing. But
yeah,
here's the thing, right? I would love to do it, but how do I know if I'm doing it right? If I want somebody next to me going, "Hey, man, you got to work on your form." If I'm doing it and I'm just doing it shittily, and nobody's there to tell me.
Do not threaten DDP though. He will fly to your house, or he will bring you to his house and he will force you into it. And did I ever tell you about that time at AEW? I saw him. I hadn't seen him in a little bit, and he's like, how's it going? And I was like, good. I was like, my back's been bad. He's like, you keeping up with your stuff? I'm like, well, my back, I herniated disc in my back, so I'm kind of like, I've been a little like, and he looked at me, hit the disappointment in his eyes, like it got me like in my soul. I was so, and I'm just like, but you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to get right back on it and do it. And he's like, you got to do it. And I'm like, so yeah.
Bang.
Yeah. But he swear, so many people swear by it. Like you said, Stevie,
Yeah. I mean,
but yeah, it's one of those things. I agree with you though. You do need to make sure you're doing it right.
Yeah.
And it's,
that's kind of like the key why I haven't like really worked out my whole life. It's just because what if I'm doing something wrong and I'm actually making myself like injuring myself or doing something worse, and I don't
That's why you got to go
for
over
a fucking
personal training unlocked on YouTube.
Yeah.
Matt Mangle from Talking with Friends.
Yeah,
Matt Mangle is an exercise physiologist. He will answer any questions you have. Anyone.
And he's got a great last name. So
he really does.
Yeah. That name was made for wrestling.
Yeah, when he wrestled, he was Mangle by name, Mangle by reputation is what we used to say. And we had him saying, But as a personal trainer, that is not really what you want to go with. Yeah, mangle by name, mangle by reputation. So you're going to mangle me? Well, more or less.
He's got him in the tens unit. Which I have one right behind me, but this I've been having like shoulder issues lately. It's just like, but what are you gonna do? I made my bed. I'm currently laying in it. So,
are you actually laying on the bed?
Oh no.
Okay,
there's
a bed behind you, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, so I didn't know if we were being literal and figuratively.
No, like I put, you try to do cool things for folks, like a little glimpse behind the curtain. Yeah. And then, like the one time I was about to do the podcast with you, and I take a photo of my setup. I'm like, about to go live on Mine and Meanie, blah, blah, blah. I take a photo, and somebody goes, that looks like the room of a 16-year-old boy. And I just so wanted to just be like, yeah, a 16-year-old boy who has a room commemorating his 27-year wrestling career.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But then you can't react because somebody's like, oh, you can't take a joke. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah, like you just said it, be like, oh, man, yeah, I hope your studio is better where you do your podcast.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can't. I made the mistake when somebody criticized me on this show and criticize something on So Says Sharnoff, and I just, I didn't like take it to heart, but I did, and I didn't think I did. I thought I was just being sarcastic and funny, and then I'm like, you know what? I am giving, like as you put it, like you don't want to give them air. Like I'm giving too much air to these people. Not everyone's like, people don't like peanut butter, and to me, that's insane. Right?
Yeah.
But people don't like it.
I love peanut butter.
Yeah. All right, calm down. But but
I could eat that shit like ice cream.
Yeah. Ooh. Could put some peanut butter on ice cream. Get a little couple of maybe crumble up some pretzels in that. What do you think?
That could have went so many different ways.
What were we talking about?
Yeah.
No,
peanut butter on ice cream? Yeah. Oh yeah, ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah. What? So, but drizzle it slowly. No. So, what were we talking about? The Joey
I don't
Tata?
know.
No. So,
Peach Pit.
What's the name of the episode? Peach Pit. Ice cream on the Peach Pit. Anyway, so my point is, people don't like peanut butter. And
oh yeah, talk about people who criticize.
Yeah, like you have to realize at some point, like when you look at your comments and someone goes, "Best episode yet," and then the next one, and then the other one's like, "God, we had like the comment of the person who didn't like that I was talking," and then they have another one right after that who's going on and on about how like it's great to just have two friends talking to each other, and I honestly I see it from both sides. I tend to ramble and talk a lot. I get it. It's the mind of the meanie, and you hear a whole lot of me, and I understand that.
Well, there's sometimes where you just bail me out because I'll come in here and I'll be like mentally fried, and then this. And
there's sometimes when we'll never know.
Yeah,
because I don't let you. I don't let you try.
No.
But hey, you know what? I think it's a good time for.
What's that, sir?
I think it's a good time to ask Meanie anything.
I would love to. It's time to ask Meanie anything. Ask me something. Never gets old.
Not at all. By the way, Antonio Santos, and I think someone else may have said it earlier, Nat. Joey Tata played Nat. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
So yeah, we've got sorry, what were we doing?
Now I got Salt and Peppers, What a Man stuck in my head because there's that one line. Some 90102 91. What's the fucking zip area code?
90210?
Kind of hoe. What a man, what a man, what a man. They mentioned that in there somewhere.
I have it in my head because I've just been binge watching the best of LT in wrestling.
No.
First one comes to us from Ringside Rant, at Ringside Rant. Our
What
good
up?
friend RJ. If you could watch only one pay-per-view for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? What a great question. So it's not
Well,
like,
it depends on what.
because you got to watch the whole pay-per-view. That's it. It's the only.
Yeah, that is a good question. Because there's pay-per-views I've watched just because they're horrible, and that's like UW. Even though it wasn't really a pay-per-view, but UWF Blackjack Brawl, which was on Sports Channel, was fucking fantastic because it was so bad. But then let me see, probably. Oh my God. This is gripping radio, gripping bot, content right here. Me just going, I would have to go with you know what? WrestleMania 4, Atlantic City.
I would.
Just because of the run Randy Savage had in that pay-per-view, the fact that he changed outfits for each match,
Awesome.
and then the fact that it also helps that I was there, but just the fact that there was another world champion during the era of Hulkamania that still had a pretty good run, because this week was basically Ultimate Warrior week.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how his title run, Hogan was going off to make a movie, said put the belt on Warrior for a little bit, and he didn't quite capture the lightning that Randy Savage did. Randy Savage had a pretty good run as champion. So
did you see both Warrior documentaries this week?
I'll be watching the Dark Side one after we record tonight. I watched the A&E one, which was okay.
So I watched A&E, and I'm only about 5 minutes into the Dark Side. So you and I are basically on the same page now.
Yeah.
I will say Dark Side has started off, not surprisingly, kind of dark, kind of negative, kind of focusing,
Right.
I actually thought the A&E one was really fair. I mean, they did not I thought they were going to whitewash the whole,
Right.
all the stuff that he'd said, but they didn't. They showed video footage of it. They really dug deep into
Right.
the fact that he changed as time went on,
Right. And then there's, I saw people online take him to task because, because of that, lecture he did.
Mm-hmm.
And then, somebody, his wife tried to, say, what did you do? And apparently there's an interview where Warrior said he got his political leanings from his current wife, and that she was just trying to paint a new photo or something like that of a situation. But all that said, like, if I didn't know professional, like, say these A&E biographies are great for those who have never watched wrestling and just want to say, oh, let's watch a biography. But those who know a little bit more, some have been good, some have been like the Savage one was, there's a lot of stuff I knew, but it's
Savage one was great for content, great for seeing things that, like, clips of stuff, interviews, things that we hadn't seen of him either in a really long time or had never seen.
A lot of them are good for that.
Yeah, but the story in general. I was just watching Ultimate Warrior one, and every time, what's his name, Rosenberg popped up.
Dude, he's look. I like there's nothing against Mr. Rosenberg, but he doesn't need to be on all these documentaries. It's like, and it's just, I have nothing against him. It's just like, can we get different folks? Just on here. It's just.
But I'm excited for I'm excited.
There's no good out on that sentence, but
No,
I could do without that. I could have done without Bubba the Love Sponge.
That still was that was ridiculous. He didn't belong there. He didn't belong there at all. There's no.
And Gorgeous George was, and then like her sister, who was, in like, she looked like she was in an FBI informant video, which she
for
didn't
no
really
reason
say anything groundbreaking. Yeah,
it doesn't want to be seen or whatever. It's like, well, like, So
Why?
here's the thing: like anyone that knows you in your personal life probably knows who your sister is.
Yeah.
So they put,
Yeah. I'll just go look at her Facebook.
yeah, that's like if, like my brother was doing a thing, or like Mrs. Meany was doing something, and you and I were both like,
Yeah.
listen, you guys need to just kind of blur us out of this. It's like Mrs. Meany's husband has asked that his face be covered. It's like what?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just overdone for dramatic effect and really didn't even be done. If you could have cut those two things out of Savage, it could have been better, you know.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a different tone depending upon who is still alive, who is still a part of the company in some way.
Dude, I wish
Steve
they would.
Austin,
I wish they
holy crap, man. Did they, I mean, you compare Savage to Steve Austin, there was not a single talk about, I mean, he's got some skeletons in his closet, you know,
which we won't go into, but yeah.
No, it wouldn't have been good to do. But my point is, do I think they needed to bring up issues he had with, you know, with former spouses and stuff like that? No, I don't think it's necessary.
Right.
But if you're going to bring it up on the Savage episode where the man's not here to defend himself or answer it, you know.
Or they could have at least went into Randy Savage's charitable works. Because the guy did so much charity for kids. You know, and stuff like that. He did a lot of good stuff.
They didn't. I found them to not have an overarching narrative.
Right.
You know, between episodes. But whatever.
And to the credit of the Dark Side guys, because they were on, because I listened to Dark Side of the podcast with Conrad, Evan Husney said each biography has a different production company and director. So it's not like what. No, for the A&E biographies.
Interesting. Oh,
so
that explains a lot, though. That does.
There's not a lot of continuity the way they're produced because it's not the same person doing each one.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Side has the same crew on each episode.
Yeah,
the A&E biographies is different people, which is funny because I watched, dude, the first half of Randy Savage. I was like, man, this is like a ripoff of Dark Side from the music and the way things were shot and stuff like that. But Evan kind of sort of went to bat for him, saying, hey, well, you know, each episode has different director, different producer. So there's that.
Mini Transit. Before we get to that, I guess
Mass Transit's brother.
Yes. My answer to that question of which pay-per-view, I've been trying to think about that in the back of my mind this entire time, and I
You've been stalling.
I feel like I don't really like it. It's tough because I want it to be a match. I want it to be a card that has both Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels on it because I feel like those are the two guys I could just watch forever and ever. Just watch their stuff again and again. But I don't know. Maybe the WrestleMania 12 it would have to be. WrestleMania 10. Maybe WrestleMania 10. But then there's so much stuff in the card that is not good. WrestleMania 17 would be one. Doesn't have either of those guys, but it's the best WrestleMania of all time. And you got Bobby Heenan.
Yeah, and the cool thing about those early WrestleManias, they started early. They started like maybe 3 PM, and they were done by 7.
Yeah.
Kind of. So I remember going to WrestleMania 4, and it was over, and we all left the Boardwalk Hall, and then for whatever reason, Slick was walking down the Boardwalk Hall.
Naturally.
And we all followed him, and he just like went to a local bar, and we just like, all right, there goes Slick. But I went home and I watched the highlights on the old George Michael Sports Machine on NBC. So the pay-per-view I was just at, which I only had seen, you know, from my perspective, I got to go watch, you know, the highlights, and that's a great thing about the George Michael Sports Machine on NBC was he treated it like pro wrestling, like he gave it legitimacy, you know.
Interesting point here by Travis. Going back to the A&E bios, he says they moved up the air date of the Warrior bio so it would air before the Dark Side episode, which makes makes some sense because I'm pretty sure there was something my mom had told me in the newspaper. She's like, "Hey, I saw in the newspaper there's going to be a thing on Bret the Hitman Hart." You know, she knows I love Bret Hart. And I was like, "No, that's not this. That's not going to be on this week. I saw a commercial for something else." So I think they switched the whole schedule up just to kind of do that, to get those out there first.
Which gives Dark Side a little bit more credibility that the fact that WWE's paying enough, or A&E's paying enough attention to want to do the. I think this whole series by A&E is inspired by Dark Side because
I'm sure it is.
The monster ratings that they're doing over at Vice.
I'm sure it is. And listen, I hope they do more. Yeah. The more the merrier. And I also understand
I'm a documentary junkie. I could watch all documentaries all day.
A&E or WWE or whoever it was who moved it up. I get that too. You know, if you and I were doing a theme show and we're like, all right, hey, we put a lot of time, a lot of effort into this. We're gonna do this show about so-and-so. And then we see Conrad's like, coming on Friday, we're doing this show on Something to Wrestle. I'd be like, Meanie, I feel like we should bump this up a week, you know, get this out here, so it doesn't look like we've copied, the more well-known. But Mini Transit, our good buddy Antonio, Patreon member. What match do you think will steal the show at AEW Double or Nothing? So I'll give you an idea of some of the matches, for people listening who don't know what the card is. Let's take a look at the card. So it's a pretty stacked show here. Now, of course, we have the NWA Women's Champion Serena Deeb versus Riho, which is interesting to have on there. We've got Kenny Omega versus Orange Cassidy versus Pac. Hikaru Shida versus Dr. Britt Baker. I think Britt Baker's taking the title. AEW Women's Championship there. The American Dream, Cody Rhodes, as tested by...
so bad.
Versus Anthony Ogogo. Can I ask you honestly, can we stop for a second there?
Please.
All right, so Cody gave an impassioned speech.
Yeah.
Where he brought race into it, which you can feel about that how you want to feel about it. He brought it in a very positive way, So it wasn't like he was being derogatory towards people. And and he was talking about the beauty of the fact that that
it was a unifying speech.
Yeah, that was the intention behind it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people had a lot of opinions on it, and the response was that they pretty much ran it in front of a test group.
Yeah,
like what what?
He said he did a focus group,
focus group,
and a study group or whatever that word.
Focus group and a workshop. Yeah. And he's like, because people really pay a lot of attention to his promos and everything. It's like, look, I love Cody. I have nothing but respect for the guy. I love his ability to do a promo. I was looking at it going I don't know. I was cross between I don't believe you and I don't want to believe you.
I was thinking about this today. I was thinking about that, and I love AEW. I want it to be successful. I want competition for WWE. It just brings out the best in everybody. But then, I see certain things, and I don't know if I'm making a reference here that's going to go over anybody's head, and I'll be like, huh, what? But it's it's like this. There's a series of fake documentaries done by Eugene Levy and Christopher Guest, and it's I feel like I'm watching Waiting for Guffman, this fake documentary where, and just the fact that he said he did a test group and a workshop on his promo. I'm just, what's her name? Oh my God. She was the indie. She's like the indie darling of acting, but that whole crew, the Eugene Levy, Christopher Guest, They did Best in Show. They did Waiting for Guffman, A Mighty Wind. I feel like I'm watching that when I hear some of this stuff that's going on behind the scenes, and it's just like,
it's really weird.
Please don't goof this opportunity up. Please don't goof it up. I want AEW to be around for a million years.
Me too. And it seems like a lot has changed with AEW behind the scenes, in front of the camera. Seems like it's kind of gotten off track, but we also we've got Miro defending the TNT title against Lance Archer. We've got Adam Page versus Brian Cage. We've got the Casino Battle Royale. We've got Sting and Darby Allin versus Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Still kind of think it's weird, Scorpio Sky. They split him up from SCU to put him in a tag team with Ethan Page, but whatever. Sting's first match.
Give me 1 second. So, what's the deal with SCU? Christopher Daniels retired?
I don't know if he's actually retired or not. Would be a great. I mean, if he's gonna retire, that would have been a great way to do it. Go out as like a bloody mess.
Is Frankie still wrestling? Is Frankie still wrestling?
Frankie's still there. He's still wrestling, doing his thing. I mean, Chris Daniels works behind the scenes.
So why does SCU have to break up because one member is retiring? Why can't they still be?
Scorpio's
SCU?
already been off on his own.
Right.
He like unofficially split from them, but I don't know. It also, to me, there's something I've always, as like an action figure guy, I've always kind of, and I don't mean just because I'm an action figure guy. Go to cellatoys.net if you're outside the U.S., or of course go to mindofthemeanie.bigcartel.com. Mindofthemeanie.com. Get your figures inside the U.S. We're still shipping every day. Every time we're like, oh, we're done. All the orders have been filled. We are very lucky that they keep on coming. But no, they just released right now SCU figures. Now it takes a long time to produce these figures, but I look at it and I go, they've known for months and 6 months, if not a year, what figures are coming out in what line. To me, why do you have Scorpio Sky? So it's Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian, and they come with the tag belts. To me, you don't have to put the tag titles on them, but they should be, if those figures are being released right now, they should be a prime part of Dynamite as a team. Right. Because you're promoting that, not where now they're wearing different gear and they're totally out of, But anyway, Travis has us on his guitar workbench now, has our figures there. That's awesome, man. Send a picture.
Nice. Thank you.
That's really cool.
Oh, the actress's name I was trying to think of was Parker Posey.
Oh, Parker Posey. Okay.
Yeah, she was in all those movies too. I could see like somebody sitting next to Parker Posey giving this like speech like they do in or like interview like they do in documentaries, and it's just it's AEW is getting away from the thing I was hoping it would be, which was I was hoping when they announced AEW, I was hoping it was going to be American New Japan Pro Wrestling, because you had all this great talent. Well, you still have all this great talent, and they were like, "We're going to present it as a sport." That's awesome. Do that thing, and like I said, I've had my thing with Impact where I loved Impact. I loved it when it was TNA, and then when they tried to do the Monday Night Wars and compete with WWE, they lost their way. They tried to become Vince. They hired all the WWE guys and buried all their homegrown talent. I was like, oh, Jesus, come on, man. And that kind of why I've been holding a grudge with Impact, not against the wrestlers, but just the concept of Impact and TNA. You guys had the golden goose. You had the chance to be something different and unique. And now I don't want to see AEW going down that same path where it's just
nice thing is
please be good. Please be good.
Yeah. The nice thing is, the ratings are solid. They've got more opportunities. They're moving Dynamite to TBS. They're
So what are they going to do with the
starting another show.
TNT belt? Are they going to
Apparently,
change
it's
the
staying
TNT?
as the TNT belt. They're still going to have a show on TNT. It
But
never
you
should
can
have
only
been the
defend
TNT
it on-
title. It should have been the TV title.
Yeah.
It was just kind of, I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever. And that's the thing. They're in their bubble. They're doing their thing, and But as far as the match you think is going to stand out, Sting is back, first time in the ring, having a match since Seth Rollins. He's in a tag match with Darby Allin. We got the Young Bucks defending the tag titles against Moxley and Eddie Kingston. We got a lot of great matches here. Of course, the Stadium Stampede match. If the Inner Circle loses, they must disband as a team forever.
I don't know, because I'm so caught up in figuring out the SCU thing.
Well, the good news is I just realized that the pay-per-view will have aired by the time this episode airs. So
I'll probably be completely wrong.
So it was match 4 was the match of the night. I think we can all agree.
Yeah, well, yeah, match 4.5.
There's the backstage segment.
Yeah.
I'm
rooting for catering.
What else do we have here? Kenneth Smithson. If you could have gone after any title during your career, which would you have chosen?
Does it have to be a title that was in existence while I was having my career, or any belt in?
Well, we know the
history of
belt that
wrestling?
you love. So let's say the title.
My favorite belt of all time is the UWF TV title. I was fortunate enough to challenge for the Intercontinental belt twice. But I would have loved to have been like a WWE or ECW tag team champion. You know, there was talk about me and Stevie potentially being tag team champions when I first got in, and for whatever reason it didn't happen. I think right before I left for WWE, me and Nova were having such a good run that I think we could have had a chance to hold the ECW tag belts. This is me and Nova. But, either I would have loved to have been an ECW tag team champion or WWE tag team champion. I'm a tag team wrestler, really, just by nature. But the way I trained, and then Al naturally put me in a tag team, and I just became so used to being in tag teams that when I went to ECW, I was part of a team.
Yeah.
And then I go to WWE, I'm part of the Job Squad, which is a team. So basically, I'm a tag team wrestler, and I would have loved to have held one of those two tag teams. Championships, not the actual teams.
Like to hold those teams in the palm of my hand. Like you can hold in the palm of your hand Mind of the Meanie action figures.
Nice.
Chris, at Chris WD 2009, what are some of the things Josh and Blue Meanie do to save money during their wrestling careers, as wrestlers are known? All right, everybody. Let's see, 1 hour, 30 minutes. This is, 10 minutes. We're having a bit of a beware of dog in your house situation here.
I guess for those little inside baseball, we're having a storm in our area.
Yeah, having some technical issues. We had a question from Chris WD 2009, which was, what were some of the things Josh and Blue Meanie did to save money during their wrestling careers, as wrestlers are known to be cheap? I ate peanut butter and protein and tuna. That's what I did when I was down in OVW, and I pretty much, I got injured and couldn't do my job anymore, and I was running out of money. That's what I did.
Basically, I would just bring food on the road. You always hear stories about guys being frugal, and you hear all the Mick and Owen stories. Mm-hmm. So, you always just ate, brought food on the road, or it was just stuff I still do now when I travel, instead of paying those exorbitant airport prices. It's it's like they instead of doubling the price, it's like they triple and quadruple the price. But yeah, just I would bring my own food on the road. Just snacks, like whether it's peanuts or cashews or just little things like that. But in early days of being an indie wrestler, sometimes I slept in the car, so I didn't have to spend money on a hotel room and stuff like that. And just find a well lit rest area and pull over and take a little power nap, and then you're back on the road. But just stuff like that. Just if you're going to be the best, you got to learn from the best, and learn from Owen and Mick on how to be frugal on the road.
Last question, then we're going to wrap it up here before. I apologize both to Andy Slichter asked a question earlier, but we lost it when we lost some power here and on the feed. And then so Slichter will get that question answered eventually. And then apologies, of course, to Al Snow, who it looks like just from technical issues, I don't think we're going to be able to get you on the show tonight. But we will get you on.
Al.
We'll get you on soon for sure. Just come back next week. I'm sure we can make it work. Mark and Dryden says it's been said by some people in wrestling that the problem with WWE is creating new stars or mainstream stars. After John Cena, doesn't Daniel Bryan or Becky Lynch count?
I believe they do.
I don't.
You don't think Becky Lynch was a mainstream star, or Daniel Bryan was a mainstream star being on reality TV with his wife? And
okay, you know what?
They weren't doing the S chant at every major sporting event around the world.
They were, but how many people knew? That's because it was being started by wrestling fans.
Well, maybe Cody Rhodes could do a test study on how many of those fans actually knew that those people knew it was Daniel Bryan.
See, because I know I've got a buddy that I watch football with, and he didn't, he was like, oh yeah, he's like, yeah, I see everybody doing that. He didn't know who it was from. You know
what's funny? Somebody actually Brian Last from the Jim Cornette podcast said he went to a party and he saw somebody wearing a Bullet Club shirt, and he's like, oh shit, this guy's going to want to fight me, because Jim goes off on the the Young Bucks and the Bullet Club and all that stuff. He's like, and if this guy finds out I'm with Cornette, he's going to want to fight me. And he goes up to the guys, goes, I like the Bullet Club, huh? And the guy's like, what? Oh yeah, I like guns. He didn't know the Bullet Club was a wrestling faction. He was a gun enthusiast who saw a shirt that said Bullet Club and just wanted to wear a shirt that said Bullet Club. So,
man, I wonder how many of those shirts sold like that.
Yeah, I wish I could give me the guy, my friends who write music for a living. They're like, just give me one Kung Fu Fighting.
Yeah, right.
Just give me one. Just give me one. Just give me one Bullet Club shirt where anybody could wear it. And not know what it means, but,
Yeah. But no, to me, there's definitely an argument to be made for Daniel Bryan because of the Bellas, but I would say it's the Bellas. Because I don't think, especially on Total Bellas, they know him as Bryan Danielson. They don't know him as Daniel Bryan. I feel like he is not, look, Dwayne Johnson, everybody knows Dwayne Johnson. Everyone knows who The Rock is. Everyone knows who Stone Cold Steve Austin is. If you haven't watched wrestling ever, you know who these guys are. And we're getting to a point where people are like, oh yeah, John Cena, yeah, he came from wrestling. And everybody now knows who John Cena is.
I heard a story. There's a time Stone Cold was visiting WWE, or he was either doing a appearance or whatever, and he saw Cena, peeking through the curtain just to see how the house was filling up, and Steve Austin looked out the curtain with him and noticed that they had the top sections blacked off, the top seats, and also goes, see that they didn't have to do that when I was champion, and kind of walked off, kind of like,
ooh,
just kind of just light a fire, not to punk them.
Yeah,
But just kind of like, hey man, they didn't have to, black out the top of the arena when I was champion, just to kind of, give them motivation, So
yeah,
there really hasn't been anybody as star since Stone Cold. When you have a whole era named after you, there's the Bruno Sammartino era, there's the Hogan era, there's the Stone Cold era,
Yeah. No, I just, and Becky Lynch, in my opinion, she had a rocket strapped to her, and then it disappeared. In my opinion, I think it was.
I don't know if maybe she got overshadowed by Ronda a little bit.
I think that was part of it. I think getting injured, while everybody points to that amazing shot of her with the broken face and the blood and everything like that, amazing, but it killed her momentum. It killed it because people were so behind her and wanted to see her and Ronda Rousey, and then I just felt the momentum never came back, and then the man thing, like everything in WWE, became just too much of this, like her walking around with this like fake swagger that like wasn't, and she didn't seem like an extension of herself anymore.
To me, it came off natural. I don't know.
So I didn't think so. And that's, like we said, not everybody likes peanut butter, so.
Yeah. It was, yeah. I'm sorry.
I love Becky Lynch. Don't get me wrong, I love Becky Lynch.
No. I'm distracted by our technical difficulties.
Oh, man.
We're both talking, and I'm watching myself like from 30 seconds ago, so I'm just like, I feel like I'm tripping.
Well, maybe on that note, we slip on a banana peel.
Is there one more question? Let's make up for the 10 minutes we were gone.
One more question.
One more question. Yeah, one more question. Let's leave on a high note. Besides me saying I was tripping.
Well, we've got this one from at Takit Okiki. And forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong. A Gormek istadagium tek ask mini aski. That's my best at reading Turkish. Google Translate says, the only love I want to see is meanie love. So.
That should be the name of the episode.
The only love I want to see is meanie love.
But write it in Turkish.
So here's the other thing. I don't know how this ended up in the Ask Meanie #AskMeanie feed. Because it's a response. It's not even to you. It's a response to a teaser poster of I don't even know what this is. Where are these people from? They've got 7.1 million followers. 17? This is their thing. I guess it looks like there's some form of an Asian music group.
Tremendous.
Let's see, 17 spelled out, -17 the numbers.com. It looks to be like let's see their profile. Well, I probably should have guessed that it wasn't going to be in English. I don't understand that. I was going to say it was like a boy band, like an Asian boy band, but there's 13 members. Like, what is this thing?
That split's got to suck.
Yeah, and then so they're putting out like a new album. They're putting out this new album or this new movie or this new something, because I don't know what the hell it is. And a lot of people are responding like, Screams, I nominate 17. Stream, Don't Want to Cry, I nominate 17. And then somewhere along the lines, Twitter assumed that this person who wrote that in Turkish, the only love I want to see is meanie love, somehow ended up, even though there's no #AskMeanie, ended up in if you search #AskMeanie. So
That's amazing.
So there's that. Last question, I guess. I think we're. Do we have any other questions that we haven't gotten to? Okay, I don't know what that is. Oh, here, you know what? Here's a fun one. Jeffrey Mitchell. We're gonna take it home with Jeffrey Mitchell. I have to ask Blue Meanie on behalf of the Twitter sensation at Ska or Nah. Do you like ska, Blue Meanie? Bonus, have you ever crossed paths with the ska band, the Blue Meanies?
Ska, I like some. I don't hate it. I mean, I have enjoyed occasional ska. I have crossed paths with the band, the Blue Meanies, and I was actually going to do something with them back in like 98, 99, because they were actually recording one of their albums right outside Philly.
Oh, wow.
And somebody from their label, whose name escapes me, was a big wrestling fan and put us in touch and sent me some stuff. And they were recording like somewhere out towards, where Channel 6 is and all that area. There's a studio out that way back in like 99. I was supposed to go to the studio and meet up with them and do this thing. And of course, the wrestling schedule said nope. But I still listen to it. They have my favorite Blue Meanies song is a song called "Shit Fuck Man," which I don't even know how to. But there's one part where it breaks down. And they do the Benny Hill yakety sax thing, which it's like, but like it's like but there's like it's like a carnival type way. But the Blue Meanies, a great band. Of course, I have to pick a song that says "Shit Fuck Man," but if you go on YouTube, the song's on YouTube. The Blue Meanies are good, and I enjoy occasional ska.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Sami Zayn's theme.
Yeah.
No, ska's good. This is I actually have my favorite ska song that I'd like to play for you. Anyway, it's not ska.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Well, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate everyone hanging with us here, even though for you listening. Last question. Travis just rejoined. Says, did Meanie hear the new Tragically Hip EP yet?
I have not, but I shall be looking out for it. I think it's got a version of like Philadelphia, like Sketch Adelphia or something like that in it, or something like that. I saw it and I was like, wow, that's almost like Philadelphia. Yeah, but whatever it's called, but I will be on the lookout for it. I will be obtaining it.
Well, that sounds like something for us to talk about on a future episode. But for this one, thank you all for joining Mind of the Meanie, Beware of Dog. I think that might be the episode title.
That's the winner.
Beware of Dog. So thank you, everybody. Make sure to follow us on. It's so tough. I've got a feed here, and Meanie is like 20 seconds behind in the video. So I keep thinking he's about to say something, and I'm like ready to cut out from to say something, and then he doesn't say anything. But then when he does say something, I'm not even hearing him. Anyway,
I feel like a cosmonaut. Like those videos of like people talking back to Earth in the 80s. I'm doing okay. And then just like there's that you got to wait a couple seconds for a word to come back from Earth.
Oh man. Well, you're only gonna have to wait until next Monday for us. Make sure to follow us on social media at Mind of the Meanie, and as individuals at Blue Meanie BWO and at So Says Chernoff. Hey, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Mind of the Meanie. And if you would be so kind, you could also check us out on Cameo at Blue Meanie BWO and at So Says Chernoff. Check out our Pro Wrestling Tees. There's a nice sale going on right now. You could check it out. Save yourself 20%. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie /Blue Meanie /So Says Chernoff. And hey, check out my latest episode of So Says Chernoff over on Fight. I interviewed Jeff Jarrett. Great guy. And that's about it. Oh, get our figures. Oh, pre-order the thing for the buddies. And join us again next Monday and every Monday for another trip into the mind of the meanie. Technology permitting.
Blue World Order. The world of MLW Radio never stops.